My profession is agroforestry advisor. My background is landscape architecture and landscape planning. I'm also vice chairman of Czech Agroforestry Association. So I'm here to talk about Czech agroforestry, which is quite a big topic. So if you have any questions, maybe wait for the discussion, and we can also discuss with Zita about their Hungarian experience. Or if you have any your experiences from your countries, you can join too. The Czech Republic is quite specific in Europe because we have a huge amount of huge number of landowners. It's about 3 million, and when you consider it, we have 10 or 11 million population. It's quite a lot, but we don't have so many farmers, which means that most of the land is rented. So it's why it's an obstacle for bigger development of agroforestry. And also the road deer overpopulation is quite a big challenge, and it increases price of establishing agroforestry systems. Next slide, please. A few words about our traditional agroforestry, which is not as much standard. Can I put it? Yeah. Sorry, I just changed microphone. Yeah, I have to walk. Okay, so I think we are set now. So this is a picture from a very traditional Czech agroforestry site. We don't have many of these. It was more common in the history. It's a field orchard, what we call. It's not really a huge deal. Those are rows of fruit trees, and in between are this crop of potatoes, wheat, and sometimes vegetable. Next slide, please. Of traditional silvopastoral agroforestry, it's pasture orchard. We have these in more hilly areas. It's also quite common in the Czech Republic. We usually people have it in gardens, those kind of systems. There's also third type of Czech agroforestry traditional. It's called povaření, and it was in forests, in young forests. When they established forests, they planted some vegetables in between the rows, and it helped them to keep the grass and weeds under away, so that young trees can grow better. But then, when the trees grow more, they couldn't grow beetroots and potatoes in those rows. So it was basically growing vegetables in forests, which is quite interesting. But it's only one place in the Czech Republic where they have it. It's not common anymore. Next slide. What I would like to talk more today is modern agroforestry systems. It's quite new in the Czech Republic. Since 2023, we have this agroforestry subsidy, which really took off. But before, we have a few plots like this in Žabčice. It's a land of Mendel University. So those modern agroforestry systems were established by research institutes and universities before 2024. We have only few really established by farmers, usually with permaculture background, but there is not so many of them. As I said, this is quite a big plot with hybrid poplars, so it's really modern. We don't know these types of agroforestry system from the history in the Czech Republic. I will be talking about this subsidy, which started this planting of agroforestry in larger scales. As I said, we have from 2003, it was first in and then second in, and this year we have third year. You can see the numbers are growing. This year we don't know how many hectares will be planted yet, probably like 1,500, probably, we don't know yet. But you can see that the interest is quite big. More words about this agroforestry subsidy. We as a Czech Agroforestry Association, we try to do our best, but you can see the first rule we have is not really logical, let's say. We have to plant 100 trees per hectare, not less, not more, which is quite annoying. You really have to do the design to, you know, for no reason you have to put 100 trees per hectare there. We have two types, silvoarable and silvopasture. In silvoarable there is more strict rules. We have to have those agriculture strips wide 10 to 100 meters and grass strip is 1 to 10 meters wide. We can do single row or double row of trees. Or silvopasture, it's more, designs are more various, lines or scatter trees, or we can have even one group on the field. The money is quite good. When you want to do it properly, it's enough money to do that. So it's 4,300 euros per hectare, which means for 100 trees. And also maintenance is quite a lot of money. I think we don't have a subsidy like this for maintenance, for tree planting maintenance in the Czech Republic. It's over 700 euros per hectare per year, and you get it for 5 years in a row, so it's quite good. And this is the map of the plots that were planted under these measures. Yellow is 2023, pink is 2024. The problem is, or challenge, or thing we want to do better for future, is that we have lots of this agroforestry system in mountains or in landscapes where it's not really needed, let's say. We need more trees in lowlands or in areas where intensive agriculture is, like for example southern Moravia, when you see there's not so many of plots, or this lowland above Prague, it's not so many of them also. So it's definitely something we want to work on in the future. And now I would like to present some of these agroforestry designs we did with my clients, with farmers. They're usually quite big farmers, not really homesteaders or gardeners. This is a system in Olomouc area where it's 15 hectares big, and it's a silvoarable system, and you see the tree row are quite dense. In agroforestry of this type, it wouldn't be so dense ideally, but we have to do it as dense because of subsidy rules. Yeah. And the design is, tree spacing is 2 meters, grass strip is 4 meters wide because of the grass mower, sorry, and alley width is 36 meters because of sprayer machinery, which this farmer doesn't use, but he's thinking into the future. Probably he's quite old, and he will send this land to someone who probably will use spray machine. So it's wide, so wide. Species we used the poplar, wild cherry, wild apple tree, rowan tree, Norway maple, and linden tree, which are forest trees. He didn't want to have fruit trees because there's a, he just didn't want to use it because he has no use for fruit trees really, and he didn't want to attract people to go there. Je to pomalý. Je to děláš určitě. Jo, okay. So this is the design we come up with. We really had to come with some successional design which changes in a time. So the backbone is big trees like oak, wild cherry tree, and wild apple tree. In between there are poplar trees, which is those, which will be cut down in about maybe 10 years and used for wood chips. So they will disappear later on. And meanwhile, those slower growing trees will grow higher. And there's also linden tree, which will be coppiced. And it's because he wanted to have a shrub layer, so linden tree will be like a shrub kind of, and it will be also coppiced and used for wood chips. And in 20 and maybe 30 years, only those big trees will be there, and the linden trees. Yeah, here we have some pictures. You can see it's quite hilly area. It's the farmer really take care of soil. It's a heavy clay soil, so he puts lots of organic matter in there, and he does it for quite a long time, like 20 years. So it's quite nice farm. Mm-hmm. Next, yeah, you can see it also will slow down the water infiltration. It's not strictly on contours because of machinery, unfortunately, but there will be some effect. Yeah, he used wood chips for mulch around the trees, which keeps moisture in. Also very good thing. And you can see some detail of the plantings. So we use metal wire and these poles. I think they are spruce poles because they are cheap. Okay, next project is in southern Moravia. Maybe you know this farm, Czech people. It's quite well known. It's filled about 9 hectares. Next slide, please. And this is one of the things we struggle when we want to adopt agroforestry system in southern Moravia, and it's land ownership structure. You see those little strips? It's those are individual fields. It's from 19th century picture. You know, each of the other strip was managed by different farmer or. Next time. So this is a picture from 50s. Still, the structure is visible. It's an orthophoto, actually. And still, nowadays, you can see the structure here. Those white lines are plots from cadastral map. So each of the strip is one owner, but it's only one farmer. So you can see it's quite risky for him to plant trees there because, and it really happens, one of the owners says he doesn't want to have it there, so he would have to cut down the trees or return the subsidy or some kind of issue would go on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see this is the map of slope. You see it's quite quite slopey here. It's actually why he wanted to plant trees there, because it's not really productive field. His goals were erosion measures and water infiltration, also increase biodiversity, because it's not quite, it's also the landscape with big fields. And soil optimization, which we didn't really, it wasn't really possible to do it better for machinery. See, now this is the final design. Those red strips is the case what I mentioned. This owner who didn't want trees, so we have to exclude it actually from the field. Also, there is electricity, so we had to exclude trees, and the remaining part we have to squeeze really trees there, because we had to have 100 trees per hectare. It's quite a diverse design. We used lots of fruit trees, and in between forest trees, which will be cut down later. Also, it's quite. I don't know if you see control lines. It goes like this, so it will work like a erosion control measure. This is the detail of plantings. And this is the next field in Alsace Moravia. Similar design where we have Juglans, actually a hybrid walnut tree, hybrid of black walnut and common walnut. It's for wood production, and in between is again, poplar trees, which will be cut down later, morus trees, mulberries, which will be coppiced, they will be as shrubs again, and some acer maple tree, just for diversification of the tree species. See, there are some pictures from first year. And this is a picture from first harvest. You can see the stork there. Also, some of the projects funded by this subsidy are very small. It's 1 hectare. This is a CSA little tiny farm, very nice. It's actually a farmer who sells this vegetable to customers directly, and fruit, and she wanted to have lots of fruit trees to actually add it to the vegetable bags to diversify her offer. Also, we had to use forest trees because of the subsidy rules. 50% of forestry, so we use it from the north side as some kind of windbreak. Also to maybe do a division to intensive agriculture field, which is up here. And this is the farm, silvopasture farm, located in Vysočina area. You can see there. This is really complex design. The farmer Tadeusz was, maybe you know Darren Doherty from Agrarians, who does keyline design. He is his student, and he also does total grazing methodology. I think he's one of the only person who does it in the Czech Republic. It's a quite interesting farm. I recommend, if Tadeusz, he does some seminars, so if you have a chance to go there, definitely visit him. You see the situation here. There was a big piece of hybrid poplar plantation, but he kind of chopping this down now. And now it's kind of, he manages the whole farm like one big agroforestry system of many times. He also does pasture in the forest. Yeah, climate, we can skip it. Yeah, it's what I said. He does this extreme mob grazing, where he, in a full season, he moves the cattle every 2 hours, which is really very, it's really time demanding. Yeah, some pictures from the farm. You can see the remains of the poplar plantation. He did like these little pastures in between. Next, please. He also uses the yeoman's plow on key line design. Last year he used the compost tea, which was injected in those holes, you can see, to just really start the soil process, because the soils are not very good over there. Even on some part was arable land, so it's really degraded. So he tries to kind of put the life back into the soil, also through trees. This is the goat's division of pasture, because as I said, he moves the cattle every 2 hours. So the tree lines are there to help him to manage those moving. I will show you later. Also aesthetic, because he just likes it, and the biodiversity, and tree crops, and tree fodder for the cows. So this is the border of the farm. You can see I hope you can see the red line. Next. And Fem Leod. He started he started with Darren, and I joined the design process later on. And he was studying the control lines, and he maybe you know, I'm sure some of you know the basics of key line design. He started to in landscape to look for ridges and valleys, and he divided the farm like that. And then he finds some moist spots where he is building or reconstructing the ponds, and in the valleys, little system of wetlands. And then we put the tree layer under these logics. This is planting scheme. Also, he wanted to have a little bit of savanna design, scattered trees, not so shady. But again, this subsidy really didn't allow it. So we came up with this design where there's also coppice trees and under the main trees, and also those coppice trees will be like a tree fodder for cattle, so they will nibble on it just a little bit up, that they wouldn't destroy the tree. So this is another detail of the design, and you can see how the pasture division will work. He has got permanent fences around each row. And then he just put that electricity fence like this when he needs it. So it's really easy for him to move the cattle around. Something about tree protection. I think we saw this. It's the same. Just he put a permanent fence. Because the cows, especially little calves, were going under and were leaning towards the tree. So it's why he had to do it like properly. And challenges, because the deadline of planting, because of the subsidy, is 30th of November, and in hilly areas it's snow already, so they had to plant it like this. Finance. Yes, we were talking about it. And another picture, he does a winter pasture, it's quite interesting. And this is a map which I would recommend you to visit. It's quite new, so there are some bugs, but it's quite a good project of Europe, which we are part of, like a Czech Agroforestry Association. You can, when you zoom in, there are different type of agroforestry systems, and I think there are also contacts. You can write people and visit the farm. Or if you want to be part of this map, you can also contact me, and I can arrange it. And this is the last thing. I think Zita will be talking about it more. It's the Zita project. There's a database of tools and data we use in agroforestry. There are all kind of applications and tools you can use, scientific ones, also some for practitioners, like a lot of them. Next slide, please. And as a Czech, we were participating in two of these tools. One is agroforestry advice. There's a Czech version of it. You can click on it, and you can choose. You can put some data there of your environment conditions and your goals. And when you click on it, it will show you the list of trees which are suitable for your site. And that's it.
Thank you very much. A warm welcome and from the MAPER, from the Hungarian Permaculture Association. All members was very much waiting for this convergence, what you are organizing at the moment. And I hope that on the agroforestry topic, we can also add some interesting things to this program. So just let's see some example of the agroforestry activities, and also some data I would like to show you if I can step forward, but at the moment I cannot. Cannot move. Sorry. Is it okay now? Thank you. Agroforestry, it is an important type of land use system, and it is getting more and more important. And as we can determine, this is an integration of the tea in the farming system, and it offers a wide range of positive impact. We can emphasize the environmental benefits, the economic benefits, because it is also increase the farmers' income, and also increase the food security and social positive impact at enhancing the community resilience, and also it will revive new and old traditions in villages and the countryside. The performance of the agroforestry is context dependent, and there are many barriers to its adaptation. Just what I have listed: economic and environmental, cultural, and property barriers. In this figure, you can see the majority of the positive impact and the beneficial effects of agroforestry. I think that the majority of you are familiar with that. The forest and agroforestry area. Here we can see in this bigger data that the agroforestry territories related to the European Union. And as we can see in this figure, Hungary is not in the leading position. It's about 0.4% of the total land, and it is 8% of the agricultural land. But if we see the forest area related to the European Union, we can see that Hungary is not on the worst position. Naturally, it is behind almost all of the European Union countries, but it is quite a reasonable amount of the territory of Hungary. 22% of the territory is forest in Hungary. And, and we can assume also that trees are playing a very important role in the carbon sequestration. So if we consider that, I think we also have to reinforce ourselves that trees are very important in our life. How these agroforestry territories are divided in Hungarian environment? The majority of the agroforestry system belong to the agroforestry combined with livestock, wooded pastures and silvopastoral systems are featuring the Hungarian agroforestry systems. And we also have to add that these territories are, the establishment of them are back to the centuries. So some of them are really old and really traditional. So our task is to renew them and to enrich the agroforestry types in Hungary. And also we can mention the high-value tree agroforestry intercrop with fruits, including nuts, but they cannot have a big share at the moment. It is under development. We have to mention the hedges and windbreaks, which were also traditional, and majority of the Hungarian windbreaks had been established in the last century. But with the development of the industrial agriculture, the majority of the windbreaks had been diminished, and farmers considered it not a useful thing, so they plow it. The majority of them had been plowed in. The tree density cover. Zuzana mentioned the Digital project, and there were a lot of survey about the tree cover density in the participating countries. Here we can see the tree cover density in Hungary on the agricultural land. And what we can see is lots of red patches on the map. And it means that the tree cover is below 0.05% in the red territories. And we can establish that it is not a good result at the moment. So what we would like to reach and to endeavor are the new plantations. What we can see here, the Propulus hybrida, and between the tree lines, we can see triticale production. I wanted to say something about the project of the Hungarian Permaculture Association involvement at present. And first, I just mentioned the Erasmus small-scale partnership, what we are just doing at the moment as one of the most important activity of our organization, the Digital project, the Klimapannonia, and the Agroecology for School, and the Open Geospatial Carbon Registry topic where we are affiliated partners. Maybe I would also say a few words about the Digit IF Horizon Europe Research Project. And in this project, we are affiliated partners of the EURAF, European Agroforestry Association, and our task was to support the policy actors. In order to do that, we have done some policy briefing about common agriculture regulation for implementation of agroforestry in Hungary. And what Zuzana is mentioned too is the DigitIF tools data pool, and this is the website where everyone can have access to these very important tools, and also relevant project catalog. If you visit this site, you can see this vision, agroforestry tools. There are 39 tools available, a catalog of the agroforestry, 26 datasheet, and project 55 is also currently available. And it will give a possibility for farmers to use these tools and to apply it for their conditions. And unfortunately, Hungary did not develop this kind of agroforestry tools. But what we can apply is, for example, the agroforestry tree advice, especially developed part by the Czech partner. So I think that we have tried it at once at our conference. And land application, carbon calculator, 3-dimension planning model, e-planner, and interactive agroforestry cost-benefit analyzer is available on this surface. So I can suggest it for everybody to try it and to give feedback how it is operating. Another project what we are involved is Klima Pannonia, 3 years Horizon Europe project, and there are quite a lot of partners involved, 26 institutions from 10 European countries. And what is focusing, it is focused on the solutions of the region agriculture, development, and especially areas of the drought reducing technologies for water management, agroforestry, cattle breeding, and organic farming. So it will develop technologies, and first all of these developments will be carried out in the demonstrator countries, so-called deep dam sites, and these technologies, if they are successfully developed, will be applied and tested later in the adaptation partner institution or research station. And Hungary is participating in the development of agroforestry solution for sustainable berry production, and we are cooperating with the Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Science and the University of Sopron in this project. Here you can see the regions and the main focus of this project developments: water and food, nexus, agroforestry, cattle production, and organic crop production. And with red, the deep demonstration sites are marked, and with black, the reapplication demonstration sites are marked in this map. Demonstrations and reapplications institutions I have listed here. So if any of you are interested, you can see or get some information about that part of the project, because At the moment, it is in an initial phase, so the initial implementations are on the way at the moment. In our objective in the VP2, the agroforestry development, to improve ecosystem service, economic viability, climate adaptivity for berry production in the Carpathian Basin. And the key activities is a sustainable agroforestry cultivation, testing the possibility of the region. The region is Fertőd research station. It is northwest part of Hungary, so this is not all of the hottest climatic part of our country. Microclimate and water management will be monitored, and the productivity, yield quality, and marketability is also measured. Naturally, the biodiversity and the carbon footprint will also measured. Here are some methods how these key activities will be performed. There will be in situ measurements on the place, and also laboratory analysis and life cycle analysis of the whole research activity and project. Here is a map about how we can imagine the trees, poplar trees, and between the poplar trees, here is the experimental area fenced with red color, and the varieties are Hungarian raspberry varieties, Fertődi, Zamatos, and Eszterházi, double producing. Kétszertermő means double producing. And here is the spacing of the activity, 2 meter and 0.4 meter for the berries, and the number of the plants in the between the rows of the poplar trees is also counted. In this figure, we can also see some of the previous experiment layout which had been carried out also in the Fertőd research station, where the majority of the research is connected to fruit production. Here is a picture which was presented on the kickoff meeting. Here we can see blackcurrant development between the poplar trees. You can see that there are double rows between the 3 rows. And this is the raspberry plantation, which had been started in 2023. And here it is a vision, a type of vision of the raspberry production, how it can be imagined in a few years, hopefully at the end of the experiment time. And some of the infrastructure is available for the experiment. Some of is going to be implemented. Some of the monitoring systems will be implemented during the experiment. The involvement of the stakeholders, this kind of activity where our organization is involved very much, and we are implementing together the experiment with those farmers who are interested. And this is why we are inviting farmers, producers, traders, specialists, and representatives, municipalities, policymakers to join the project and be a part of the innovation. And to make it, we are developing we have developed the questionnaires for the different kind of target groups, and it had been sent. So this is the first round of the evaluation of the answers of the target group for our group, for our work package group. And we have a special attention to the growers, selecting the areas of 1 hectare or between 1 and 10 hectare. We would like to get regular information about the developments of the experiments provided for the farmers. Workshops will be organized on the deep demonstration site, and we are summarizing our suggestion experiments. Also discuss it. We are waiting for the feedback also for the stakeholders, and we are count on their activities. Regarding stakeholder time and activity is a question. So this is just a question to the audience at the moment, because probably there are some participants who have fruit producing area. So I just would like to ask that if you are involved, what do you think to be the best reward for the stakeholders' time and activity in the project? So what you would be glad to get as a reward if you give your time and if you answer this type of questions. Our project, what I would like to just mention in a few words, is Agroecology Partnership. The title of this project is Enriching European Landscape with Agroecological Practices. The acronym of the project is LAP, and this project aims to encourage agroecological and agroforestry practices on landscape level by promoting collaboration between the relevant stakeholders. And maybe one of the main questions is how can agroecology contribute to a better cooperation on landscape level to achieve the transition to sustainable and agroecological land use. As we can see, I also I show again the tree cover of the land, not just the European, but you can also see Turkey in this picture. And as we can summarize, there are quite a lot of red territory. This is why this project Enrich European Landscape with Agroecological Practices is focusing on agroforestry implementation also in this project. Here you can see our partners in this project. The leader of this project is EURAF, European Agroforestry Federation, and there are some important national and regional agroforestry institutions, also universities involved in this project. Slovak National Forest Center is also involved. I just wanted to emphasize that. And the main developer of agroforestry type of research, as probably some of you know, the National Research Institute for Agriculture, INRA, and you probably, some of you know the name of Christian Duprat, one of the main researcher developer of agroforestry in Europe. And our task will be existing environmental policies evaluation about agroecology and agroforestry, participation in multi-actor living labs, and to promote ecology in regional development and knowledge exchange and synthesis on agroecological practices at landscape level. Naturally, we have a lot of common activity with the partners, And this project will just starting. We are going to have our first meeting. The kickoff meeting will happen at the end of August. So just in a short and brief information about what kind of research and education activities happening about agroforestry in Hungary. And in the center, you can see the network of the permaculture farms, forest gardens. This is a kind of information network where you can search and you can open these icons and you can see the main activity of these permaculture farms. And some of them are applying agroforestry type of production and the forest garden type of agroforestry also. Here you can see some example. Valaha Tanya, for example, with fruit trees, and also manna garden. And from the research and education is modeling agroforestry with medicinal plants. Here you can see an experiment cage where the shade rate is measured under this cage and in front of the cage too. And another experiment connected to hedgerow effect on the tomato production with the windy and on the protected side. This research just had been finished. We are going to make some publication about it. And also experiments and evaluation is going on with the shelter bed system with other purposes. Agroforestry in practice, I would like to show also the alley-cropping fruit-orchard with further crops at the Valaha Kranya, agrocropping with pine, also in Vértesacsa, Manna Forest Garden, and pastoral system in Steppe Forest Garden. Just in a brief introduction, some of the activities what we are going, and hopefully we will be very lucky and we will see the results of the vision of agroforestry benefits in permaculture. So thank you very much for your attention. I have stopped the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I definitely know that Pavlo Ardanov is starting the project Agroforestry in Ukraine. He will be here tomorrow and will be able to talk more about this. We have some very small projects. I know that Ivanka, for example, also has some experiment in this field. And probably I would say that some of the farmers is waiting for common agriculture policy, our implementation of our legislation into European Union, and that opportunity that CAP can give our country and our farmers to launch other projects in this field.
I have a practical question, Zuzana, that you showed with the plantation, with that special farm. You showed multiple slides, and you show with the plantation like how he did it. Like the wire mesh is 1.5 meter high. And in the very beginning, when you started the presentation, you said that there is a very pressing issue of the roe deers. And my question is that whether 1.5 meter height is enough, because that's for me.
For roe deer, it's quite enough. So of course, the higher the better. Also for normal deers or against the normal deers, but also it's the matter of money. So 1.5 meters is enough for roe deers. What in my experience. Some farmers use even 1.2 meters. and it kind of works against the round ears.
So most of the times it works. Most of the times it works than the 1.5 meters.
Yeah, of course, they sometimes not. Sometimes even 2 meters high fence doesn't work because they just can jump it or, yeah. But still, those wire fences are quite good. Some farmers use these plastic tubes, which are not really good for environment. They crumble into microplastics, and the road ears can put it up, and it's not really working. But the farmers use it a lot.
I have other questions, but I don't want to take the crown for anyone else. Okay, then one more. So I've been coming from the Czech Republic now because we are on vacation, and we just stayed for 3 days in south to Brno. And when we were coming by the car, for me it was really interesting to see that almost everywhere near the roads there were big tree lines. And they were quite traditional for me. It seems like they were quite old, but I saw that almost everywhere, if one tree folds, for any reason fall out, then there were new trees planted. And there were new trees, so it was like the traditional old tree line, and wherever there was a gap, there was already a new little tree. And this, unfortunately, in Hungary, this is almost completely diminished. So on the Great Plain, you almost see no tree lines. And my question is how? So it's like part of the cultural heritage, and that's why people and municipalities, they take care of, or how Czech people, they look at these tree lines. And for me, what was even more interesting, that there were really a lot of fruit trees, like plums and pears and everything. So it wasn't just for the shading, I suppose. But yeah, could you just say a few words, like how is it in the culture, or whether it is specific to that region where we have been, or that's normal for the whole country?
I'm happy to hear that you perceive it like this. Yes, in I think 2015, we had this really dry and hot summer, and then we had in 2019 and etc. So we really feel the climate change, and there was this huge wave of tree planting. There were also subsidies, so it's quite easy for people to plant it. So it's why probably you see it quite a lot in the landscape. It's getting better. Because there was a gap, those tree alleys were like dying off. There was a gap where we didn't plant any trees, and now it's in last 10 years it got better, in my opinion. And it's sometimes municipalities plant these trees, or active citizens. They just find this subsidy, they contact municipality that there is a space for trees if they can plant it. So there are also some local associations who plant trees. So I think it's pretty much everywhere in the Czech Republic.
And then do they use the fruits normally? So is it processed or anything, or is just for the wild animals?
Yes, both, but people like to grow fruit trees in the landscape. I live in a bubble, you know. I live in a social bubble. But I think it's getting better. It's getting better. Katka?
Maybe I can add something, and you correct me, Zuzka, if it's a legend, but historically the fruit trees were planted by the roads for the soldiers under the reign of Maria Theresia, so that when there's troops moving around Europe, actually, or Central Europe, and it's a good climate for growing fruit trees, so that there would be some food for them, and also shade for actually, the people moving through the landscape. So that's part of the history. And I would just confirm, maybe I'm from the bubble as well, I'm from the same fruit growing bubble, but definitely people do use the apples, use the fruits from the alleys, even if it's only just for making juice or moshed or something like that. It's not often like good quality apples because they sometimes fall on the ground and da 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 da. It's also often walnuts, walnut alleys in some regions. So I think we're quite proud for this, that we grow food actually in public space.
Do it well, be proud of it because it's effective.
Oh yeah, and also there is one NGO initiative which is called Let's Get Fruit or something in Czech, na ovoce, which maps the places of publicly growing fruit, but actually you should be only putting a tag there only if you have agreement with the owner, because very often these things and plantings, they do belong to someone. So it's not a map to send people to steal fruits. It's actually, it started as an initiative to inspire people to pick fruits from somewhere which would be otherwise wasted and falling on the ground or something. No. Na ovoce.
Yeah, thank you, Katka. Yeah, I think it's the reason. Also, we Czechs probably feel a little bit nostalgic because we lost lots of fruit orchards, tree alleys in the past during the socialistic era. We have the largest fields in Europe, pretty much, and so we kind of want to have it back because it's nice. And is Zita still here? Is she still?
Yes, thank you. I'm here, and I remember that when we walked through the villages in Hungary, passing by the main roads, we always met with a lot of fruit trees. So it was traditional also in Hungary to plant fruit trees passing by the main roads. So I just wanted to add that. And the other thing that there is a possibility for supporting shelter beds, plantation of shelter beds and windbreaks, again from the new agroforestry implementation plan in Hungary. But at the moment, unfortunately, not quite a lot of people were interested in. Hopefully it will be increasing later. Thank you.
And Zita, I would like to ask about Pannonian region, because it's really dry and we have something similar in southern Moravia. How do you approach this issue or this challenge of lack of water for trees?
You mean the fruit trees?
All trees in agroforestry.
Mm-hmm. The most important thing is to cover the soil nearby, and this is why the intercropping systems are important in agroforestry system. To cover the plant, in this case to avoid evaporation and to maintain more water in the soil. Also, the tree lines can be mulched at the beginning, especially when the trees are young. And at the beginning, it can be irrigated if they have the possibility, but if not, movable tankers will provide the water for the young trees at the beginning of the plantation period.
Okay, thank you.
And naturally, we have to select the suitable tree species which are tolerant for the partial drought effect during in the summer season. And also drought can be happen in winter time as well. Naturally, the vegetation is finished by this time, but if we have drought periods during autumn, winter, it will affect the vegetation periods starting in the springtime. So we also have to think about it. And what is the good reason? A good solution is the soil covering in winter time as well. So it is depending what I just mentioned, the type of the intercrop what we apply, and also mulch type of the tree lines. If we planting tree lines, naturally it can be spotted, or if we planting a group of the vegetation, trees, bushes in pasture territory, in this case we can develop a kind of guild. And if we are developing guild, we are permaculturists, we know that this associated plant community will help each other, not just in the development, but also underneath the soil to raise the possibility of reaching the water, soil water for each of the plants. So I think the main solution is to approach the diversity in the agroforestry system, and to apply solutions which had been proven or had been proven in permaculture solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Zita. Any other ideas? Katka?
Thank you. To nevadí. I would like to ask from your practice, so if a farmer approaches you that wants help with agroforestry planting, how long does it take, and what is maybe the challenges? I mean, apart from the bureaucratic paperwork, maybe. So, like from the practicals, do we have everything in the country, like enough trees or people or something from the?
Okay. Yeah. So I think the main challenge, the trees definitely, because there is a subsidy, so there is a huge step in demand for the young trees. So of course we struggle with that. And there's also some rules in this subsidy that they have to be 1.2 meters high. They can be smaller. So, yeah. So, and other issues, I would say it's maybe some farmers struggle with understanding what agroforestry is really, because they. Actually, it's your question you had about the PR, agroforestry. They just see the list of subsidy and they say, hey, it's 100,000 Czech crowns per hectare. It's a lot. But they didn't, so they choose agroforestry subsidy because of the money. So we struggle with this, with really understanding. We are proud on this number, how many hectares they were planted, but I would be more happy if they were maybe less, but better. A better approach, even though Czech Association is 10 years old, so we went through lots of conferences, seminars, a study program, but still we need to do more education to educate farmers to really understand what agroforestry is, that it can help them also in economy, in climate change adaptation, in diversification of income. I don't know. I don't think they understand it really well. Some of them do, of course.
Related to that, it's about land concentration and big farmers. Like, I don't know how is it in the Czech Republic, but as much as I heard, land concentration is also quite an issue here, not just in Hungary.
Land consolidation?
Land concentration, like big farms.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that the ownership is like a lot of people own, but through the rental process, there are huge farms. I don't know, as much as I know it, that's also in Czech Republic, but in Hungary definitely. And my question is, like, do you or the association or you yourself, like, you are targeting for big farms, and do you think that these kind of land concentration has also good impact on agroforestry, because larger farms, they have more, I don't know, they have a scale of economy to, like, say, make trials on 15 hectares. So the question is, like, your clients, they are normally small-scale farmers, middle or big, and like how do you link with or connect with the big farms, like more than 2,000-3,000 hectares?
So my clients are from small to medium size, I would say. Even sometimes they have like 2,000 hectares, which is quite big in terms of European farms. But in Czech Republic, it's actually not so big because we have really huge farms, agro holdings. And the question was how we approach the really big farms. Really, it's difficult. Yeah, it's really difficult. They don't want it. They don't understand it. I had one client, Czech people will know from Agrofert. It's a really huge agri company. But it was just this little company under this huge company. They wanted to have shade for cows, which is nice. But it was really one case, and they just don't want it because they would want it if there were more money for that, I think. And also this problem with land ownership situation. It's called, there was a research and they call it farmland rental paradox, that the small ownership plots are, the bigger fields are for farmers. So there's as I showed to you, there's a 15 hectares field, but there are like 200 owners. So it's one of the reasons they don't want it, because the trees wouldn't belong to them. They would be the people. And it's quite risky. I understand it's quite risky to plant trees on not on your land.
For me, the question is if you observe about because it's mainly in Europe, like the number of farmers, they are like decreasing, and it's if there are more like trainings or formation in university or professionalization of farmers in Czechia. Like I don't know if you have the answer, but it's also to.
I don't know if I understand the question. You mean generally farmers?
Yeah, farmers, and mostly like about agroforestry. Like if you observe more new way of educate and like change this way of, because it like begin with the like university trainings and all this. So yeah, it was about this.
We have one really great thing in last few years. It's called Farmarská škola, farmers school, and there are lots of young people interested in this sustainable agriculture, and the part of it is also agroforestry education. They go to agroforestry excursion to Germany, for example. So I think there's quite hope for Czech agriculture, but also those are young people and they don't have access to land. So they have like 1 hectare. So I think it's big impact, but not you can see it in the landscape, but it's quite a big impact. I think in the future we will have well-educated young farmers.
And I wanted to ask, is agroforestry being taught in universities, in agriculture university?
Yes, but it's more only one subject, and it's voluntary. So yeah, and I think the tropical the Faculty of Tropical Agriculture. There is one, and in
Yes.
yeah, at Mendel University. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can I just add something about the Hungarian situation? At the University of Sopron, there will be a new degree course about agroforestry. As far as I know, it will be started this year. It will be 3 years long. And there were also specialization available for agroforestry at the University of Sopron. So not just the forestry type of topics, because all of the university is about forestry development, but there are new teaching and educational initiatives about agroforestry. So it will be available for students, and naturally everybody who would like to participate and has an entry degree. But what I consider is important activity for the farmers, what we would like to initiate in Klima Pannonia project, is their involvement in the project. Not just through the questionnaires, but also we encourage them to participate on the workshop. And in this case, they will see the development of a certain experiment, namely the development of raspberry production between the poplar trees. And if they can also conclude different kind of results, or if they are informed of the achieved results, they can summarize it, and they can relate it to their activity in their field. In this case, they can give us feedback to what can be implemented and what is not. And this is a kind of discussion and multi-actor learning activity in this case, and also practice. So it is not just one way, teaching and learning, but with the involvement of the farmers and their experience of them, it will be a two-way or multi-way learning and practicing activity. This can be a kind of solution, I think. Thank you.
I have one more question. Like the design that also Petra asked, like how is your working process with the farmers? That's also interesting for me. And the question is also like the subsidy. Does it cover your involvement as designer, or that's they cannot pay from the subsidy?
It can cover my work. They just got the money I showed you, and it's up to them what they spend it on. Like,
there's not so they don't have to give like what they were spending on it on.
No invoice is just the amount. Yeah, but there's another subsidy which can cover my work from 80%.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And how is the process normally like? Because like how much time is it for you? And
I didn't answer it.
That was
sorry.
a good question.
It depends really. They do it on last minute really. For example, they just call me in summer that they want to plant in autumn. So sometimes we are really in a rush. But there was lots of uncertainty with these subsidy rules. So we didn't really we couldn't like say, okay, in 2 years we will be planting, we will prepare the land and everything around it and project. Because we didn't know under which rules we will be planting. There were some last minute changes. In Maine, So, and then in autumn, they will be planting. So it depends, really. Depends. Sometimes it's a year of planning. Sometimes it's a few months, few weeks.
Few days.
Few days.
Thank you. I would like to ask on, there was a question from Szalai, Zita about what would the farmers require for join these kind of projects beside the money, and I have an experience that usually it's a human resource that they are lacking, because less and less people would like to work on farms. So I would like to ask you about this experience, what you have with.
Yes. Like tree planting requires quite a big amount of manual work. So yeah, the same experience. Some farmers want to mechanize their tree planting. They use machines, but it's not as quality as it could be with these larger trees. Yes, sometimes they hire the company to do that for them, planting. Sometimes they do it with family. But yeah, it's lots of work, like manually. Did I answer it? Yeah. Or you meant something different? Yeah? Okay. Katka?
We can form a table.
Okay. So maybe if we could hear from you, what do you think that would help for the better outreach about for what agroforestry is, so that more farmers want it? Because you've been in the field for a long time. So what do you think that we can do as like normal people, and what can we as a society do so that it's more accepted and farmers understand it? Farmers are very traditional and, old way of thinking, we know that. But what could help, maybe a television program about agroforestry or something?
Yeah, actually,
what is your ideas?
There's a reality show on Disney Plus about agroforestry. Kind of reality show. It's called Rebel Farm, I think. Do you know it? It's about a German farm, really big one. It's interesting. Yeah, but it's educational for what you were suggesting for everyone. It's really. There are those relationships and conversations and the story of the farmer that he kind of farms on his father's land and the struggles he has got, the climate change. I don't know if you know it, if you saw it. Yeah, it's try to check it out. It's. So things like this, yeah, just talk about it, do it, show the results, share the knowledge. Same old.
I'm only thinking aloud about other experiences, and I think maybe this could help in future with many problems. For example, only simple things like podcasts, but by not professionals, by famous YouTubers or whatever, can boost the topics. I could see it with soil life. Like if someone who is only famous on that level talks about the topic, it boosts it a lot, and people start to look for it and ask about it and dedicate themselves to it. And another thought and observation also, that in Slovakia there are more corporates that involve into their team building programs like ecological activities, and one of them is planting trees. And I think join this kind of, even dialogues with these corporates or these big companies, how they could create their team building spaces, I think it would be a nice way how to help out these farms, to help to plant the trees with a physical work. Thank you.
Can I just add something? The popularization of agroforestry, I think it was the question. Yes?
Yes.
Well, because the majority of the people tend to live in urban areas, I think that urban agroforestry popularization and introduction is also a way how the beneficial effect of the trees and agroforestry systems can be introduced to the people in really near to their living area, and they can see the change of the climate, the shade, and also the other beneficial effect of agroforestry, even if it is just a little agroforestry system or area in the city. So just my adding. Thank you.
Yeah. And also through food, because agroforestry produces delicious food. So it's a very good way to promote agroforestry. Yeah.
Maybe a last question from my side is, do you recommend sometimes earthworks together with the tree lines, like key line or swales or whatever?
Yes, yes. Yeah, some of the farmers want it. Sometimes it's not really, swales were really popular, that people want it just because it's swale, it's a buzzword. So I go through them if they really need it, if it's good fit for the management and the land. But yes, definitely it's part of agroforestry also.
I have a question. You mentioned the one small farm, the 1 hectare farm that used the subsidy to plant fruit trees also. Do other farmers also plant fruit trees? Because I suppose there's more maintenance and care needed for them. Do they actually want to expand into fruit production?
If you are asking for if there is a business model with fruit trees?
Well, I know there is a business model, but
Actually, there's not.
If there is a farmer who didn't grow fruit trees before, do those opt for fruit trees for agroforestry also, or just non-fruit trees?
Both. Like people like, sometimes it's combined, sometimes only forestry, sometimes, well, in this subsidy we have to have forestry, so it's combined. I thought that they will want to make, I don't know, some gems to sell it, but usually they, men like to plant plum trees because of slivovička, or they just want to have a snack on the field, apple. So yeah, they definitely like planting fruit trees. But there's no business plan that they would make a product so far, which is a little bit pity.
Okay.
We talk about subsidies a lot. Have you had any projects where a farmer came to you and there was no subsidy behind it? And what kind of trees would you choose?
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, I know the subsidies. It's actually the project still in process. So we will use only fruit trees because it's 7 hectares, and there will be also herbal garden, and it will be really diverse, high stem orchard kind of, yeah, all kind of trees. I don't know. It's not set. It's not final design yet. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. And thank you, Zita, who unfortunately couldn't attend in person, but thank you very much you could join us.